This is a tutorial for the Mastermorphix. And the first thing you should know about this puzzle before trying to solve it is that this is basically a regular 3x3x3. As if you turn it around, then you should be able to observe how it has a centerpiece, edge pieces, and corner pieces. And if you count the centerpieces, you have one. Well, as you can see, these two colored rectangles are each centerpieces. So there's one centerpiece, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So it's the same thing as a regular 3x3x3, since on every side you have 4 edge pieces, these trapezoids, and 4 corner pieces, all the triangles, small or big. Okay, with that in mind, you can now solve this puzzle like a regular 3x3x3. The only thing you have to watch out for is these centerpieces, since they have 2 colors and the shape that actually changes. Like this shape would be different than this shape, for example. So you just have to watch out for the centerpieces, but otherwise it should be pretty simple. So the first thing to do to solve with the centerpieces is to orient all the centerpieces to be solved in relation to each other. So first, just pick any 2 colors, or any 2 centerpieces. I chose these 2, and they have to be next to each other. So look for the common color. This one's red and yellow, this one's blue and yellow. So the yellows are the common color. Now look for a third side that has yellow as well. This side does not have yellow, but this side does. So you have 3 centerpieces with yellow. And now you want to make all 3 of them face right into the center. So this yellow piece, I'll turn to move towards the center. This yellow piece, I'll turn to move towards the center, and the same with this yellow piece. So these 3 are now oriented correctly. And now, based on these 3 centerpieces, I can now go to the other sides and turn their faces so their centerpieces are correct. This one's already correct since these greens match and these blues match. This one I have to rotate. Now the blues match and the reds match. And the last one. Okay, now all the centerpieces are oriented correctly. As you can see, they're all green on this side, all yellow on this side, all blue on this side, and all red on this side. Now from here, you can choose any color or any side. I'll choose this green and yellow, and you're going to solve for the cross like a regular 3x3x3 cube. And this piece is already complete, so I don't have to worry about this one, but now I have to solve for these 3. And unlike the regular, where you can just move it up into its correct place like this, because of these centerpieces, you have to make sure you solve them without changing the centerpieces. So if I move it up, then I have to move this one back to move it back into place. But since I can't just move it back, since that just undoes what I just did, I can move this out of the way and replace it with another piece that isn't solved yet. And when I move this back, I now have 2 parts to my cross complete, and all my centerpieces are still correct. Now I have to do the same for this green and this yellow edge pieces. I have a green here. If I just slide it over, I can match it up with this centerpiece, but it also has to match with that centerpiece. So before I move it back, I'm going to move this out of the way and then replace it. So now this part is done, and I need this last yellow. So now this one, if I move it up here, then it matches with this centerpiece, and I have to connect it with this centerpiece now. But now that I look at it, I can't just move this out of the way using this side anymore, because all these pieces are already solved. So if I switch it with any one of them, that piece I switch it with will now be messed up. So instead of using this side, I have to use a different side. So I can take this with the centerpiece I'm trying to match it to, out to another side. Now from here I can replace it and connect it with the centerpiece. And now my first cross is complete. And all my centerpieces are still complete as well. Okay, now I have to fill in these corner pieces to solve for the first side. This yellow corner piece is already done. I need a small green piece here, right here, and that's just the regular method. And I have two corner pieces here. This one's green, yellow, and blue based on these center pieces. So green, yellow, blue. And I can put that one in normally. And the other one. This one's green, yellow, and red. That piece right here. So now my first side is now solved. And my center pieces are still solved as well. Now I have to solve for my second layer, which should be all of these trapezoids, the edge pieces of the second layer. So this one's already done, so I don't have to worry about that. But now I have to solve for this yellow, this red, and this green. And as you can see, usually you use the top layer to bring the pieces from the top layer into the second layer. But in the case of this yellow piece, for example, there is no yellow trapezoid on the top layer, so I can't do that. I can't put in that piece. So what I have to do is look for where it is, and that's right here. And I had to replace this with another piece. Preferably, I would want to replace it with the green piece, since that would make solving it faster. But since there's no green piece either, I have to put in any other piece, because this green piece and this yellow piece are both in the second layer already, although incorrect. So I'm going to take this one out, or this one out, it really doesn't matter, using the regular method. And first you should just position the puzzle like a regular 3x3x3. So center in the front, right, left, top, and bottom. So from here I'll do R, U invert it, R invert it, U invert it, F invert it, U, F. And that corner piece is still here, but now this edge piece is now out. And from here I have to solve it for this part. And this one might be a bit confusing as to where to start from the left or from the right, because instead of having two different colors like the regular cube, this one has different shapes. So if you just think about how that algorithm works, you can see which side to start from, because this corner piece obviously connects right here and not here. So if I want to connect this to here, I have to start from the left side, since starting from the left side will connect it. If I start from the right side instead, then I would connect it to the wrong place, and this wouldn't be the correct shape. So I'm going to start with the edge piece on the left, and I'm going to do the algorithm. So this is going to be my front, left, right, up, right, and bottom. So U, R, U invert it, R invert it, U invert it, F invert it, U, F. And that'll solve for that piece. So two of these are done, and now I need the other two. So since I've solved for this piece, the green piece that was here is now up on the top layer, and now I can use this piece to solve for here. So again, I want to connect this small triangle with the small side here, instead of the big side. So to have it with the small side, I have to start from the right, because of this one's orientation. If it was from the left, again, it wouldn't match. So I'm going to start with this piece on the right, and now I'll have this as my front, this as my up, this as my right, my left, and my bottom. So now I'll do U invert it, L invert it, U, L, U, F, U invert it, F invert it. And that piece is now solved. Now for the final piece. This one, since there are 1, 2, and 3 different red pieces, that can go in here, it's not as restricted as these other two sides, this yellow and this green side. So I can put any one of these three in here. Now if you think about it, this one is a large corner piece. So it obviously connects to this large side of the red trapezoid, rather than the small side. So this one, instead of having the small side facing towards the center, I want to have the large side facing towards the center. So I can go with either one of these. I'll go with this one. So, for example, if I did it the wrong way, which is to have the small side facing towards the center, then the shape wouldn't match up. So instead, starting like this, I'll put this piece in here. So first I have to connect this corner piece with the large side of this red trapezoid. So this is going to be my front, right, left, up, and bottom. So like before, I'll do U inverted, L inverted, U, L, U, F, U inverted, F inverted. Now that's all for that piece. So now my first two layers are done, and I'm down to my last layer. So this one is also rather confusing when you have only been exposed to regular 3x3x3s, which have two colors for each edge piece and not different shapes. So the first thing to do here is to get every color in its right place, whether or not it's oriented correctly. For example, even though this shape is incorrect, if this was red, that's how you would want it to be. So I want to move these two pieces. But as you already know, the algorithm used to rotate edge pieces always moves at least 3 pieces at the same time. So I'm going to move 1, 2, and 3 pieces. I'll replace this with this piece. This piece will replace this piece, and this piece will replace this piece. So these 3 pieces will move counterclockwise. And then the red will be in the red place, this red will stay, the blue will be in the blue place, and the blue will be in the blue place. So from here, I have 1, 2, 3, so I'll do, with U and R, I'll do R, U, R inverted, U, R, 2U, R inverted. Okay, so now I've designated each piece as to where they have to go. So these 2 pieces will have to go here, and these 2 pieces will have to go here. So now that I've known that, all I have to do is to rotate them. So this is the same as rotating the 2 colors of the edge piece on the last layer. Because if I rotated this 180 degrees, this large side will now be on the large side. The small side in here will move to the small side. So right now this is a good setup because the algorithm I use swaps the one in front, or rotates the one in front and the one in the back. So I'll have one in the front, one in the back, and this will be F, U, R, L. From here I'll do F, R, U, R inverted, U inverted, R inverted, F inverted. Okay, so now I already know exactly what that algorithm does. It just rotates the 2 pieces here and here, although it does change the orientation a bit. It just rotates them. But now that I know that each piece is oriented correctly, just in the wrong place, all I have to do is put them in the right place. So I can move 1, 2, 3 pieces clockwise. Then this will come into the blue spot, this will come into the red spot, and this will come into the blue spot. So for this one, I have to go counterclockwise. I have to go clockwise. So I'll start from here. I'll use L and U. So now the algorithm will be L inverted, U inverted, L, U inverted, L inverted, 2U, L. And now all of my last layer cross is now complete. Now the last thing to do is to position these corner pieces into their correct places and then rotate them if necessary. So right now none of them are in their correct places, so it doesn't matter where you start from. But I'll just take any 3 pieces and rotate them counterclockwise or clockwise. I'll go counterclockwise. So I'm taking 1, 2, and 3 pieces and rotating them counterclockwise. So this will be U, F, R, L, and B. Or D, actually. This one would be B. Okay, so from here, I'll do R, U inverted, L inverted, U, R inverted, U inverted, and L. And this only works when all of them are incorrect. Then you can choose any 3 pieces and rotate them in any way. And at least one of these pieces should fall into the right place. So this red, blue, and green falls into the red, blue, and green place. So now I've positioned this one correctly. Now to position these 3. So these 3 go counterclockwise. This large piece will come here, this red piece will come here, and this small blue piece will come here. So this, just like before, I'm going counterclockwise. So I'll do the same algorithm as before. So 1, 2, and 3 pieces. I'll do R, U inverted, L inverted, U, R inverted, U inverted, L, U. Now those are in the correct places. And as you've probably already noticed, these small triangles, these corner pieces, don't have a proper orientation because there's only one color and one shape. So no matter which way you turn it, it'll look the same. So in the case of these corner pieces actually have 3 colors. So these you will have to rotate. So this one goes counterclockwise and this one goes clockwise. That's a normal setup that you see on a regular 3x3x3. So I'll show you how to solve that right now. So just thinking of this as a regular cube, I'm going to use the right side and the bottom side. So first, I have to have the first piece I'm going to rotate be on the far back right. So up here. From here, I'll do R, D inverted, R inverted, D, R, D inverted, R inverted, D. And now to do that one more time, R, D inverted, R inverted, D, R, D inverted, R inverted, D. And that's solved. Now I have to rotate the other one over and do it one more time. So R, D inverted, R inverted, D, R, D inverted, R inverted, D. And when I move this one back, it's now solved. And so some of you might have had the same situation I just had, or some of you might have had a slightly different situation. For example, situation that looks like this, where you have only one piece that's rotated incorrectly. Or you might have 2 pieces that are rotated incorrectly, but they're not paired up the correct way. For example, they're both going clockwise, or they're both going counterclockwise. In that case, as you should probably know, on a regular 3x3x3, that's an impossible case. So the only reason why that's possible for this puzzle is because these small triangles it's only one color and one shape. So these, rotate in any direction, will look the same, no matter what. So in a case like this, that means any one of these small pieces are rotated incorrectly in the regular 3x3x3 case. So if you have two of them rotated incorrectly, just solve for one of them and just use, you have to use two pieces at least, so you can either solve for one of them and rotate one of these small ones, or solve for one of them and rotate the other one incorrectly. Either way should be fine. You should just make sure it goes down to one last piece. So if you have a case like this, then all you have to do is rotate this one into the correct place and then solve for one of these small pieces. Doesn't matter which one you use. So this one goes counterclockwise. So from here, it's again in the far back right. And I'll use the same algorithm as before. So R, D inverted, R inverted, D, R, D inverted, R inverted, D. Now that one's solved, but the bottom's still messed up because of what I just did. So move either this piece or this piece over to the far back right and do it again. So R, D inverted, R inverted, D, R, D inverted, R inverted, D, and one more time, R, D inverted, R inverted, D, R, D inverted, R inverted, D. And that is how you solve a Mastermorphix. Thank you for watching.